Today's workplace is constantly changing. Technology is changing daily, and the demand for advanced job skills and better performance is growing. Changing occupational health and safety legislation and environmental concerns place even greater demands on our workforce. Demands that insist the job be done well, safely, and in an environmentally sensitive manner. The need for better solutions when it comes to incident prevention has never been greater. The Alberta Municipal Health and Safety Association is going to take this time to talk about the benefits of formal workplace inspections. A formal workplace inspection does a variety of things, such as making sure that all controls are implemented, followed, and effective. It's an opportunity to check that existing hazard controls work well. It's also a good tool to identify new or missed worksite hazards. It's also an opportunity for the management team to speak with their workers and discuss concerns. Frequency of inspections is also important. The Alberta Municipal Health and Safety Association has not set a minimum frequency, but does recommend that inspections happen at minimum quarterly in low hazard areas and more often in high risk areas. A formal workplace inspection looks at the big picture, way beyond just a basic equipment check. A good inspection examines the skills of the workers operating the equipment, the environment they work in, and policies and procedures that are in place. It's important to note that a formal inspection is no small task. It takes an entire team, from senior management who design the policies and procedures, to the supervisors who know the layout and operations of the area, to the worker who actually performs the work and operates the equipment. It is extremely important to understand that an inspection is not a fault-finding exercise. Rather, it's a way to take positive steps toward preventing injuries and incidents. An effective inspection consists of 4 important elements: strong pre-inspection procedures, thorough inspection techniques, detailed reporting, and follow-up. During the pre-inspection part, one of the most valuable tools is the inspection checklist. That checklist highlights the facilities, the materials, and the process of your workplace, ensuring that nothing gets missed and everything gets the coverage it deserves. It'll keep you on track and on schedule. Remember though, this is just a guideline. It's not meant to catch everything. As you become more familiar with the checklist, you may want to customize it so it works better for you and your work areas. Also, when assembling a team, you should include someone knowledgeable about the system, someone from outside of the area being inspected, and someone from the area. Another great resource is past inspection reports. You'll find situations that have never been fixed before, or items that now need to be reviewed. Make notes on anything that looks like it needs attention, and check them once you begin the new inspection. You may find it useful to draw out an inspection map. The map route can help you divide your inspection time better and make sure that all areas are getting the coverage they deserve. Make sure you mark out sites and hazardous material storage areas. You may find this process can identify hazards that were not included on the checklist. The pre-inspection is done, and now it's time to get down to business and start the inspection. You may be required to wear protective equipment. It's always good to know what you might need ahead of time. Remember, your job is to look for clues to potential hazards. You're acting like a detective, and not everything will be in plain sight. Open doors, check closets, check cabinets, closed rooms. Always ask yourself, does this condition or circumstance create the possibility of injury, illness, or property damage? If the answer is yes, you've identified a hazard. If convenient, ask operators to start up equipment that isn't in use at the time of the inspection and ask for their input. Try not to disrupt their work unnecessarily, or you may find that you've lost the cooperation and support of one of your key resources. If you do find any type of serious risk or danger during your inspection, report it to the area supervisor immediately. If the situation is life-threatening, take action right away by blocking off the area or immediately shutting down the equipment. Hazards that you identify should be assessed, taking into account severity, probability, and frequency of exposure. This system will help you to set priorities for the hazards based on the seriousness of the situation. When you finish the inspection, it'll help in designing the recommended actions. Formal workplace inspections go beyond identifying weaknesses. They should also be used to look for positive actions. For example, recognition for improved practices such as housekeeping procedures. This is also a good time to remind people of their responsibilities, where every worker shall take reasonable care to protect the health and safety of themselves and of others, and cooperate with the employer for the purposes of protecting the health and safety of everyone present at the worksite. The third part of the process is the detailed reporting. It's important that you don't count on your memory, rather rely on the notes you've been taking. You should have written everything down with clear descriptions and locations. You'll find by making detailed notes, you'll save yourself a lot of time. You should now have a detailed description of all the items on your checklist, which will in turn help you decide which hazardous situations need attention. You're now required to recommend corrective actions. You should start by asking yourself why the hazard exists. Often there isn't one cause. For example, a patch of oil on the floor may be caused by poor maintenance or poor housekeeping policies, or the housekeeping policies haven't been enforced. In this case, several actions may be needed to solve the problem. Deciding which corrective actions are necessary doesn't have to be complicated. Always try to eliminate the hazard. If it isn't possible, apply the hierarchy of hazard controls: engineering, administrative, and personal protective equipment, or PPE. There's one check left before you finalize your recommendations. It's important that you check previous inspection reports. See if corrective action has been recommended before. Chances are, if it was and it didn't work then, it won't work now. This is a flag indicating you should rethink your corrective action and investigate a little further before making a final recommendation. Your report is an important part of the coordinated approach to safety. It gives your organization regular feedback on its safety program. It recommends policies and procedures that need to be either put in place or modified. It could suggest further training or equipment modification. Your written report will have a lot more value than just talking the inspection over with your supervisor. Your recommendations remind everyone what they have to do and when they have to do it. Remember, it is crucial that when you complete the report, you identify everything clearly, including who is responsible for each corrective action and deadlines for each. As soon as possible is not an appropriate deadline. Always assign an actual date. Once you complete your report, make sure it's made available to everyone. Proper circulation and planning means that anyone can use your report, including the next person inspecting the area. Make sure you follow your municipality's formal workplace inspections directives for reporting and follow-up. Inspections will not be effective if the recommendations are not implemented. To ensure success, communicate your ideas clearly, especially in the case of corrective actions required for serious hazards. Keep the report simple and concise, and provide management with a status summary with room for comment. If you have a joint health and safety committee, they should also review the inspection report. Your follow-up actions are your insurance policy. Monitor progress to ensure recommendations are implemented to reduce the risk to employees. An inspection doesn't have to be complicated to be effective, and it isn't a one-person job. You need the support of management and the cooperation of your coworkers to be truly successful. If you use all the resources available to you, plan carefully, and follow through on those plans, you'll see encouraging results. The rewards of a well-planned formal inspection program can be seen in a reduction of injuries for your organization, which is a win-win for everyone. Thank you.